In the pantheon of Greek mythology, few figures possess as much mystique and influence as the Moirai, or the Fates. These three sisters, Clotho, Lachesis, and Atropos, were believed to control the destiny of every human being from birth to death. Yet, their story is often overshadowed by more prominent deities like Zeus or Athena. In this video, we will delve deep into the untold story of these enigmatic sisters, exploring their origins, their roles in mythology, and their enduring legacy in shaping human understanding of fate and destiny. The Moirai, also known as the Fates, have a complex and somewhat ambiguous origin story. In Hesiod's Theogony, they are described as the daughters of Zeus and Themis, the goddess of divine law and order. However, other sources suggest that they are the offspring of Nyx, night, emphasizing their connection to the more mysterious and darker aspects of the cosmos. In early Greek mythology, the Moirai were often associated with the primordial forces of the universe. Their existence was thought to precede that of the Olympian gods, hinting at their immense power and ancient roots. This duality of their origin, both divine and primordial, underscores their unique position within the Greek mythological hierarchy. The Moirai were believed to have been born from chaos, the void from which all things originated. This connection to chaos places them at the very heart of the creation myth, suggesting that destiny itself is a fundamental component of existence. The idea that fate was woven into the fabric of the universe from the very beginning highlights the Greeks' belief in the inevitability and preordained nature of life's events. Each of the Moirai had a specific role in determining the fate of mortals. Clotho, the spinner, was responsible for spinning the thread of life. She decided when a person was born and initiated their life's journey. Her spindle was a symbol of creation and potential, representing the beginning of life and the myriad possibilities that lay ahead. Lachesis, the allotter, measured the thread of life, determining the length of each individual's existence. She assigned each person their destiny and life path, weighing their actions and decisions. Lachesis' rod or staff, often depicted in art, symbolized her authority in measuring and assigning fate. Atropos, the inflexible, was the cutter of the thread. She chose the manner and timing of each person's death, cutting the thread of life with her shears. Atropos' scissors or shears were a stark reminder of mortality, underscoring the finality of death and the unchangeable nature of fate. Together, they formed a triad that controlled the entire span of human existence. Their decisions were considered final and irrevocable even by the gods, highlighting their supreme authority over the natural order. The concept of fate, as embodied by the Moirai, was a central theme in Greek culture and literature. The Greeks believed that fate was an inescapable force that shaped every aspect of life. This belief permeated their philosophy, drama, and daily practices. In Greek tragedies, the Moirai often played a crucial role in the unfolding of the plot. Characters such as Oedipus and Agamemnon were portrayed as being bound by their fates, unable to escape the destinies foretold by the Fates. This notion of predestination influenced Greek philosophical thought, particularly the works of Plato and Aristotle, who grappled with the concepts of free will and determinism. The Moirai's influence extended to the everyday lives of the Greeks. Rituals and offerings were made to appease the fates, seeking their favor or attempting to gain insight into one's destiny. Oracles, such as the famous Oracle of Delphi, were consulted to understand the will of the gods and the direction of fate. These practices underscored the deep-seated belief in the power of the Moirai, and the importance of aligning oneself with the natural order. Despite their immense power, the relationship between the Moirai and the Olympian gods was complex and multifaceted. While they were revered and feared, the Moirai were not entirely independent of the gods' influence. Zeus, the king of the gods, was sometimes depicted as having a degree of control over the Moirai. In some myths, he could persuade or influence them, particularly in matters concerning his favorite mortals. However, this influence was limited, and the Moirai's decisions were generally portrayed as binding. The interplay between the Moirai and the gods illustrates the tension between fate and divine intervention in Greek mythology. This dynamic underscores the Greek understanding of the universe as a place where even the gods were subject to certain immutable laws. The story of Prometheus provides a notable example of this dynamic. Prometheus, who defied Zeus by giving fire to humanity, was subjected to eternal punishment. Despite his suffering, the Moirai did not intervene, suggesting that even the gods' actions were part of a larger, fated order. This interplay highlights the limitations of divine power and the overarching authority of fate. The Moirai were often depicted in art and literature, their images laden with symbolic meaning. Clotho was typically shown with a spindle or a spinning wheel, symbolizing the creation of life. Lachesis was portrayed with a measuring rod or a globe, representing her role in determining the course of a person's life. Atropos was depicted with shears or scissors, a stark reminder of the inevitability of death. These symbols not only highlighted their individual roles but also emphasized the inexorable nature of fate. The tools they wielded were metaphors for the mechanisms of destiny, illustrating how life, growth, and death were all part of a preordained process. In classical art, the Moirai were often depicted as stern, unyielding figures, reflecting their role as impartial enforcers of destiny. Their expressions and postures conveyed a sense of inevitability and solemnity, reminding viewers of the seriousness of their functions. This portrayal reinforced the idea that fate was an unalterable force that governed all aspects of life. The Moirai feature prominently in various Greek myths and literary works. In Homer's Iliad and Odyssey, they are referenced as the ultimate arbiters of human fate. Heroes and mortals alike were depicted as subject to their decrees, their lives shaped by the threads spun and measured by the fates. One notable myth involving the Moirai is the story of Meleager. At his birth, the Moirai foretold that he would die when a specific log was consumed by fire. His mother, Althea, hid the log to protect him, but later, in a fit of rage, she burned it, leading to Meleager's death. This tale underscores the inevitability of fate and the tragic consequences of trying to alter it. Another significant story is that of the Trojan War. The Moirai were believed to have played a role in the events leading up to and during the war. The fates of key figures like Achilles and Hector were seen as predetermined by the Moirai, and their deaths were depicted as the fulfillment of their destined paths. These narratives reinforce the belief that even the greatest heroes could not escape their fates. The Moirai were closely associated with the concept of justice, known as dike in Greek. Their role in determining fate was seen as an extension of the cosmic order, ensuring that each person received their due share in life. This connection to justice is reflected in their parentage as daughters of Themis. They embodied the principles of fairness and balance. In this context, the Moirai were often viewed as enforcers of moral order. Their decisions were not arbitrary but were believed to reflect a deeper, universal justice. This perspective reinforced the idea that accepting one's fate was a form of aligning with the natural and moral laws of the universe. The Moirai's association with justice can be seen in various myths where they act as arbiters of divine retribution. For instance, in the myth of Tantalus, who committed heinous crimes against the gods, the Moirai ensured that he faced eternal punishment in the afterlife. This narrative highlights the role of the Moirai in upholding moral order and delivering justice. The concept of fate controlled by supernatural beings is not unique to Greek mythology. Many cultures have similar figures who govern destiny. In Norse mythology, the Norns perform a role akin to the Moirai, weaving the fate of gods and men. Similarly, in Roman mythology, the Parsi were the counterparts of the Greek fates. These cross-cultural comparisons highlight a common human fascination with the idea of predestination and the forces that govern life and death. The Moirai's story, therefore, resonates beyond Greek culture, reflecting a universal quest to understand and explain the mysteries of existence. In Hindu mythology, the concept of karma plays a similar role in determining one's destiny. Actions in past lives influence the present and future, creating a cycle of cause and effect that resembles the spinning and measuring of the Moirai. This parallel underscores the widespread belief in the interconnectedness of actions and fate across different cultures. The influence of the Moirai extends into modern times, where they continue to inspire literature, art, and philosophy. The enduring appeal of their story lies in its exploration of the tension between free will and determinism, a theme that remains relevant in contemporary discussions about human agency and destiny. In literature, the Moirai have inspired countless works, from classical tragedies to modern novels. Their symbolic presence can be seen in themes of inevitability and the human struggle against fate. In psychology, the concept of the Moirai can be linked to discussions about the subconscious forces that shape human behavior and the extent to which individuals control their own lives. The Moirai's legacy is also evident in popular culture, where they appear in various forms. From films and television shows to graphic novels and video games, the Moirai continue to captivate audiences with their mysterious and powerful presence. Their story invites us to reflect on our own lives and consider the extent to which we are masters of our destiny or subjects to forces beyond our control. The philosophical implications of the Moirai's control over fate were not lost on ancient Greek thinkers. Philosophers like Plato and Aristotle grappled with the tension between fate and free will, exploring the extent to which human beings could exercise autonomy within the framework of a predetermined destiny. Plato, in particular, was fascinated by the concept of fate. In his dialogue The Republic, he introduces the myth of air, in which souls choose their next lives before being born. Although these choices are made by the souls themselves, the Moirai play a crucial role in ensuring that each soul receives the life it deserves based on its past actions. This blending of choice and predestination reflects Plato's nuanced view of fate. Aristotle, on the other hand, approached the topic from an ethical perspective. In his Nicomachean Ethics, he discusses the role of fortune, Tyche, and how it interacts with virtue and moral responsibility. While he acknowledges the influence of external factors and fate, Aristotle emphasizes the importance of rational choice and virtuous action in leading a fulfilling life. This balance between fate and free will remains a central theme in Western philosophy. The reverence for the Moirai extended beyond myth and literature into the realm of religious practices. Ancient Greeks performed various rituals and offered sacrifices to honor the fates, seeking their favor and guidance. These rituals were often conducted during significant life events such as births, marriages, and deaths, reflecting the Moirai's influence over the entire span of human life. One such ritual was the Moiragits, a festival dedicated to the worship of the Moirai. Held in different parts of Greece, this festival involved processions, offerings, and prayers aimed at ensuring the goodwill of the fates. Participants believed that by honoring the Moirai, they could gain insight into their destinies and secure a favorable outcome in their lives. Divination was another common practice linked to the Moirai. Oracles, such as the Oracle of Delphi, played a crucial role in interpreting the will of the fates. People from all walks of life, including leaders and common citizens, sought the counsel of oracles to understand their future and make decisions in accordance with their fated paths. These practices underscored the deep-seated belief in the power of fate and the Moirai's role in shaping it. The Moirai's control over fate is intrinsically linked to the Greek conception of time. The ancient Greeks viewed time as a cyclical and inevitable force, much like the spinning of Clotho's thread. This cyclical nature of time is reflected in the Moirai's roles, with each sister representing a different aspect of the temporal journey. Clotho, as the spinner, symbolizes the beginning of life and the potential for future events. Her act of spinning the thread represents the unfolding of time and the creation of new possibilities. Lachesis, the allotter, embodies the present moment, measuring and determining the course of an individual's life. Her role emphasizes the importance of living in accordance with one's fate, making choices that align with the measured path. Atropos, the cutter, represents the end of time and the inevitability of death. Her shears mark the final cessation of the life thread, bringing the temporal journey to a close. This tripartite division of time into past, present, and future underscores the Greeks' holistic understanding of existence. The Moirai's dominion over these aspects of time reinforces their role as the ultimate arbiters of destiny, weaving a tapestry that encompasses the entire spectrum of human experience. From a psychological perspective, the Moirai can be seen as archetypes representing different facets of the human experience. Carl Jung, a prominent psychologist, introduced the concept of archetypes as universal symbols embedded in the collective unconscious. The Moirai fit well into this framework, symbolizing the stages of life and the forces that shape our destinies. Clotho, with her spindle, represents the archetype of the creator or the mother. She embodies the beginning of life, creativity, and the nurturing aspect of existence. Lachesis, the measurer, aligns with the archetype of the ruler or the judge. She signifies the balance and order necessary to navigate life, making decisions that shape our paths. Atropos, the cutter, reflects the archetype of the destroyer or the wise old woman. She represents the end of life, transformation, and the acceptance of mortality. These archetypes are present in various cultural narratives and personal experiences, highlighting the Moirai's relevance beyond Greek mythology. By understanding these archetypal roles, we can gain deeper insights into our own lives and the psychological forces that influence our actions and decisions. The Moirai have inspired numerous modern interpretations and adaptations across different media. In literature, they have been reimagined in novels, poems, and plays, often exploring contemporary themes while retaining their mythological essence. In Neil Gaiman's The Sandman series, the Fates appear as the three-in-one, embodying the roles of the Moirai while interacting with modern characters. This adaptation blends ancient myth with contemporary storytelling, highlighting the timeless relevance of the Moirai's themes. In cinema, films such as Disney's Hercules have introduced the Moirai to new audiences, albeit with creative liberties. These portrayals often emphasize the humorous or dramatic aspects of the fates, making them accessible to a wider audience while preserving their mythological roots. The Moirai have also influenced visual arts, with artists depicting them in various styles and contexts. These representations often explore the symbolic aspects of the fates, using imagery to convey their roles and significance in shaping destiny. Contemporary artists continue to find inspiration in the Moirai, reflecting their enduring appeal and relevance. The Moirai, with their ancient origins and profound impact on Greek culture, offer a compelling lens through which to explore the human experience. Their story, though often untold, is rich with insights into the nature of fate, justice, and the human condition. As we reflect on their legacy, we are reminded of the timeless quest to understand the forces that shape our lives and the enduring power of myth to illuminate the mysteries of existence. The Moirai's tale invites us to ponder our own lives and the extent to which we are masters of our destiny or subjects to the whims of fate. In this contemplation, we find a deeper connection to the ancient Greeks and their vision of a universe governed by both order and mystery. By exploring the untold story of the Moirai, we gain a greater appreciation for the complexity and depth of Greek mythology. Their legacy challenges us to think critically about the nature of fate, the power of storytelling, and the universal human quest for meaning. In doing so, we honor the ancient wisdom of the Greeks and keep their timeless stories alive for future generations.